we've made it to the climax of Season 1, the end of the beginning. Oarai vs. Kuromorimine, the final boss battle. In this video, I'll be looking at the battle more through a storytelling lens, and later on, probably in a longer than usual video, I'll do a technical and tactical analysis of the entire battle. This week's video is brought to you by an upcoming original manga, Amaranth Angels, cute anime girls, starfighters, and exciting space battles. Written by a Girls Und Panzer fan, for other fans of Girls Und Panzer and the military moe genre in general. The full first volume will be out later this year, and then I have a pre-order store live for anyone who missed the successful Kickstarter campaign. Now, on to the video. Well, we're finally here. At the finale of Season 1 at least. And at the battle we've been building up to for most of the season. Oarai versus last year's runner-up, and multi-year champs before that. Nishizumi versus Nishizumi. The ragtag upstart team versus the seasoned, disciplined, finely tuned veterans. There's a lot going on here, even setting aside all the tank action for now. While this battle doesn't mark the end of Miho's and Oarai's journey, it is the end of Part 1, and it is a very key moment for them both, with Oarai fighting to ensure its continued existence, and Miho fighting to, really, finish finding herself, and to prove to her family that there is merit in her new Senshiro. Though I'm not sure we can say that was a conscious goal on her end, with Oarai foremost in her mind. Obviously, spoilers ahead for this battle, and by extension, all of Season 1. This is, by far, the longest battle in Girls Und Panzer up to this point. And as always, the time is very well utilized to showcase the exciting tank action, as well as to further not just the main story, but subtler character moments. Obviously, the big story element here is the main event, the clash between Oarai and Kuromorimine, and by extension, Miho and her modified Nishizumi style versus Maho and the classic Nishizumi style, directly following in their mother's footsteps. This conflict, of course, began way back in Episode 5 in the Tank Cafe, with Erika's trash-talking and the obvious but less vocal tension involving Miho and Maho. Since that point, while we've at least seen there's at least more to Maho than we might have thought at first, we've seen her and Erika watching Oarai's matches, as a reminder that they're the quote-unquote final boss. And of course, at the end of the Pravda match, Shiho makes it absolutely clear that the finals will be a clash between her and Maho's way against Miho's. Throughout the battle, we see their very different command styles at play. Maho's very organized, disciplined, always advancing approach, as opposed to Miho's more unpredictable, adaptable, and flexible strategies. Which of course she needs, being as badly outnumbered and outgunned as Oarai is. That numbers and size disparity is obviously another really easy way to showcase just how much of an underdog Oarai is here, outnumbered by more than 2 to 1. The wide overhead shots showcasing the much larger Kuromorimine team moving in formation do a great job reinforcing this without taking up a lot of time. As things play out, we are also shown the different mindsets and approaches the teams have, both positive and negative, such as Kuromorimines order starting to break down when their initial planning gets disrupted. But also we see how quickly they're able to reorganize and regroup. While Oarai's team coordinates their various strategies, their individual teams, often due to inexperience, can make poor decisions, such as both Mallard team and Hippo team attempting to directly engage the mouse, something that's not advised. I also can't forget to mention the scene with Rabbit team's tank getting stuck in the water, which is, obviously, both a chance for Miho to prove that her people-focused approach to Senshiro can be successful, and it's also a bit of a personal redemption for her, of confirmation that her actions the previous year were the right ones. Remember that even after Kume thanks her before the match, Miho remarks that she still isn't completely sure what the right choice would have been then. By the end of this battle, though, I think she conclusively knows. Beyond that, another major theme of this battle is showing more of Oarai's team, specifically the original tanks and their crews, really coming into their own. Since their first demonstration of their true skill against Pravda, the student council team has fully embraced their role as a sneaky harasser, and their actions, both early on and then in sacrificing themselves to help take out the mouse, kind of thematically hints at their future handing off of their leadership positions to members of Anglerfish team, as well as, of course, having them, again, being willing to do whatever it takes to save their school. Rabbit team as well has come so far from fleeing their tank way back in the first battle. Here they play a key role near the end, with Saki getting to have a moment and Azusa really starting to show why she's eventually going to most likely be Miho's successor as Oarai's overall commander, and the successor to the adaptable, modified Nishizumi style that Miho has adopted. The Oarai teams who arguably perform the worst here are the newest. Mallard team, which doesn't have much in the way of moments before getting flipped by the mouse, and of course the brand new Anteater team, although they inadvertently contributed by blocking Erika's shot early on, which of course makes sense here, since they're the least experienced out of everybody. They'll get their moments to shine later on in the series, of course, but trying to give every team a major moment here would have probably cluttered the battle and diluted its focus. While I won't be getting into the action details of the battle today, the structure of the way the battle plays out works perfectly to tell the story of Oarai's vastly inferior force combating that of Kuromorimine, but it doesn't overdo it. The momentum of who has the advantage swings back and forth several times, as each team reacts and adapts to the moves by their opponent, with the battle continually moving to more and more confined spaces. This obviously demonstrates Oarai's necessary strategy against a more numerous foe, but it also narratively demonstrates that the conflict here is a focused, personal one. It's going from two full teams on open fields and hills to smaller, close quarters engagements in the town, and then, of course, it culminates in the one-on-one duel between Miho and Maho in the cramped, isolated confines of, most fittingly, an abandoned high school, as they effectively lock out the rest of the world to take care of a family matter, while Erica, who's the only person here with a close connection to both sisters, only manages to break through as the battle concludes. The symbolism here, from multiple angles, is pretty clear, both in regard to Oarai's story and Miho's. The ragtag upstart against a seasoned veteran fighting to save a school, while inside of an abandoned one. Additionally, the battle with the mouse itself is kind of a smaller scale version of the overall battle, Oarai having to come up with a creative idea to beat a foe that's massively superior on paper. Another important aspect of the way this battle tells the story of that conflict, the personal one in particular, harkens back to something I made a video on a while ago, the minimal dialogue in key moments of this battle, specifically during the Miho and Maho duel. We know that they're both obviously communicating orders to their crews, etc., given what's happening and the fact that we see them speaking, but we don't hear, because we don't need that. Adding more dialogue at all, let alone action cliche type stuff, would detract from both the tension of the scene and the characters themselves. For all their differences, Miho and Maho have a lot in common, particularly in being willing to lead from the front and put themselves at risk to secure victory, and they're both locked in here. Us as the viewers are similarly locked in. Focusing solely on the action without dialogue to distract us just enhances this so much. Branching out beyond Miho and Maho, we also, of course, get our first real look at Erica's personality during this battle, from her smug confidence to her emotional outbursts. You can understand why someone so tightly wound as her would be the one to engage in trash talk, and this also sets the stage for the changes we'll see with her later on, as I covered in her character analysis. She's going to be a much more significant character later on, and I'm sure the Girls Und Panzer team knew that. Thus, they made sure to give her enough time to really establish herself here and set up her later development. While we obviously know now that Girls Und Panzer continued well past this point, the Oarai vs. Kuromorimine battle served as a perfect climax to the season, bringing the various themes and conflicts together, while showing just how far many of our characters have come, and all without feeling at all bloated or relying too much on the spectacle, keeping the action exciting but still easy to follow, something we'll see again in their film and beyond. If Girls Und Panzer had ended here, it would have been a very good, satisfying conclusion, but this is far from the end, and in the not-too-distant future, we'll start taking closer looks at their film, and we'll probably do that for a long while, as it's a perfect movie, and there'll be a ton to analyze and talk about. So onward and Panzer vor. If you enjoyed this video and like to support me in what I do here, my books and light novels are all available on Amazon, and you can get early access to videos, sneak peeks, and updates on my upcoming manga and other projects by subscribing over on Patreon. I also offer channel memberships now, which get you access to monthly members-only watch-along streams. And at the moment, it's looking like the next subject of our watch-alongs will be the classic Space Battleship Yamato. And as always, if you have any thoughts on this video or anything Girls Und Panzer related you'd like me to talk about, definitely share them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear them, and while I might not get to respond to every comment, at least not in a timely manner, I can guarantee that I read each of them. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any future uploads. That's all for now, so until next time.